Good evening, everyone. It's 6:30. So I'll start with some welcoming remarks as we wait for some of our colleagues to join. But Dr. Stern, it is so wonderful to see you again. I can't believe this is our third annual prostate cancer awareness event. Since the first time I met you, it has been a pleasure getting to know you and the work of your foundation, the AdMeTech Foundation, that does so much in the space of prostate cancer awareness and equity and education. For those of you that don't know, this is such an important event and a cause for me because prostate cancer has had such an impact on my family. My grandfather passed away of prostate cancer 6 years ago tomorrow. So also a very timely time for this event. He was a firefighter and his cancer was related to some of those occupational hazards. So something unique about this year's forum is we're going to hear from some members of the fire service. We're going to be joined by Saugus Fire Captain Bill Cross, who's going to talk a little bit about some of the occupational hazards and really importance of screening and protection and awareness for our firefighters. We were also supposed to be joined by Revere Fire Captain Kevin O'Hara. However, regrettably, the Revere Fire Department lost a firefighter yesterday, tragically, and he will be unable to join us. He sends his regrets and looks forward to participating in the future. And if possible, I'd like to just start by a moment of silence for the firefighter that we lost yesterday, but also all of those that we have lost to this cause, to prostate cancer. So I'll offer a brief moment of silence. Thank you. As we begin tonight, we're going to be joined by some local leaders that have vested interests in this, as well as experts. Dr. Stern, I'm so grateful for you to be here with me and talk a little bit about your foundation and why this is so important. And we'll get into the importance of screening and prevention so that other families can get ahead of this, because if detected early, prostate cancer is manageable, it's treatable, and the outcomes are far better.
No question. First of all, thank you so much for your support of our prostate cancer cause, joint prostate cancer cause. I founded and I'm currently heading AdMeTech Foundation, a nonprofit organization. And we usually prepare video as a matter of routine these days for virtual events to make sure we will not have internet problems. And Daniel, if you do not mind starting the video, which is actually my formal presentation.
My name is Faina Stern. I'm a physician and president of the AdMeTech Foundation, a non-profit organization leading regional, national, and global programs in prostate cancer education, research, public awareness, advocacy, and clinical care equity. My thanks to Representative Giannino for the opportunity to take part in this event virtually. The main topic of my presentation is our prostate cancer equity program, launched recently to bring the best patient care to every man in Massachusetts and eliminate health disparities. Prostate cancer equity program is an integral part of the AdMeTech's ongoing statewide program in prostate cancer that created a Massachusetts model of national leadership in public awareness, medical education, and research. Our primary focus is on high-risk men, Black, Hispanic, and Latino individuals, and all men with family history of prostate cancer and increasing age, 50 and older. I'd like to express my gratitude to the members of the Suffolk County delegation to the State House who made this program possible. For public awareness and education, our messaging centered on the importance of screening and early detection critical for saving lives. Early detection is particularly important for Black, including Hispanic men, who are 2.5 times more likely to die compared to white men. With early detection of prostate cancer, every man is alive in 5 years. In sharp contrast, with late diagnosis, when cancer is spread to other organs, only 28% of men remain alive during the same period of time. The centerpiece of AdMeTech's medical education is annual global summit on precision diagnosis and treatment of prostate cancer. Our summit has been recognized as a seminal event in shaping the state-of-the-art and future vision for patient care. Our summit brings together the key international experts representing every clinical expertise to review the best emerging clinical practices. The latest 7th annual conference took place only a few weeks ago. This educational event showed rapid advances in patient care. In screening, our summit supports clinical practice guidelines recommended by the National Comprehensive Cancer Network, consisting of over 28 leading cancer hospitals and their experts. High-risk men, including Black men, and any individuals with family history of prostate cancer are recommended to initiate discussions with their doctors about screening with PSA blood test at the age of 40. Average risk men should start screening at the age of 45. The first or baseline screening test in younger men is important for identifying men at risk of lethal prostate cancer long term, over 10 years. In diagnostics, we have seen emergence of very accurate non-invasive tools, such as blood, urine, and saliva analysis for molecular and genetic markers, and advanced imaging, including ultrasound, MRI, molecular imaging. This non-invasive diagnostics highlighted the importance of PSA screening and shifted past concerns about screening into a dustbin of history. For example, this diagnostic test can determine which specific individual man has an increased risk of life-threatening, rapidly progressing prostate cancer, improve early detection critical for saving lives, reduce unnecessary procedures such as biopsies and treatment, and optimize selection of personalized precision care for each man, including careful observation or active surveillance, minimally invasive, what we call focal interventions, when only a tumor or a part of the prostate is treated, or radical interventions when the entire prostate is treated with or without systemic drugs. High-risk individuals, including Black men, carry higher risk of both mortality and unnecessary procedures. Consequently, it is critical for them to have access to precision diagnostics that determine for each individual man if he should or should not have invasive biopsy or treatment, and what options in clinical care are best for him. Unfortunately, in Massachusetts, compared to white men, Black men are less likely to have precision diagnostics such as advanced imaging, molecular or genetic testing, and to undergo life-saving treatment. Prior to undergoing invasive biopsy or treatment, it is important for each man to discuss with his doctor if any testing is available to determine if these procedures are actually needed, and if yes, what kind of options would work best for him. For example, in this slide, MRI shows prostate cancer lesions and guides biopsy needles with precision. AdMeTech has led research, development, and large-scale implementation of prostate MRI since 1998. In 2013, Massachusetts legislature funded clinical trial of prostate MRI, which produced groundbreaking data that were presented at the summit in 2016. By early 2017, about 6 months later, MRI was recommended as the new standard of patient care prior to biopsy and prior to treatment. Our summit highlighted the importance of MRI in Black men who are likely to have lesions in the front part of the prostate that are difficult to find by physical exam or standard blind biopsies performed without accurate imaging. In men with prostate cancer, there are two pillars of the current diagnostics: MRI and genetics. While MRI shows cancer location and local spread or stage, genetic analysis of cancer tissue reveals underlying biology and probability of progression. Emerging data indicate the importance of genetic testing for high-risk men, Black men in particular, for selecting the most effective and appropriate treatment. With this precision diagnostics, we can now accurately determine if each individual has a slow-growing, harmless disease and needs only careful observation for minimally invasive procedures, or an aggressive prostate cancer requiring immediate life-saving treatment. More recently, molecular imaging has been shown to play an important role in staging of prostate cancer, including presence of metastatic disease and detecting return of prostate cancer after treatment. For example, molecular imaging with PSMA has become available at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute since August 2021. On the left, right here, we can see a regular bone scan that shows no metastatic disease. On the right, however, we have molecular imaging that demonstrates extensive metastasis on the same patient. This information is important for selecting appropriate treatment. We are proud to have led research and development of molecular imaging since 2001. Our summit concluded that equal access to high-quality care is the key factor in improving patient outcomes for all men and eliminating health disparities in Black men. It is particularly important now with so many novel diagnostic and therapeutic approaches, ensuring high-quality, personalized patient care. Without equal access to these advances in patient care, we will see a widening gap in inequalities, including survival and mortality. Consequently, AdMeTech launched the Prostate Cancer Equity Program in Massachusetts in collaboration with Mass General Brigham, UMass, and other clinical institutions, with the mission to save lives and deliver high-quality care. Supporting organizations include Latino Health Insurance Program and NAACP New England Area Conference, with their multiple branches located across the state. Any Massachusetts man age 40 and older can take part in this program. Our priority focus is on Black, Hispanic, and Latino men who are at high risk of prostate cancer, delayed diagnosis, poor quality care, and death. Our goal is to expedite access to leading experts who use the most advanced approaches to screening, diagnosis, and treatment available today, and to support men every step of their medical journey. This program helps men to find an expert for the initial or a second opinion, in-person or virtual visits. We believe that in Massachusetts, with its leading hospitals and universal access to care, our prostate cancer equity program will be able to eliminate health disparities. Experts of the prostate cancer equity program can address any questions about prostate health, from assessing an individual healthy man's personal risk of cancer to informing men about all available options before and after screening, biopsies, and treatment. We are committed to supporting men during every step of their medical journey to ensure that no man is left behind or struggling alone. To achieve this goal, we created a streamlined VIP-style process of patient referral and care, reflecting how doctors involved in this program take care of our families and friends. This process consists of three essential components. AdMeTech Foundation's team members collect basic information and match individual patient needs with the appropriate state's experts for clinical care. A clinical organization designates a patient navigator to expedite a medical visit and related needs, including scheduling, registration, transportation, and financial assistance if needed. If an expert recommends any next steps, such as, for example, further diagnostic, evaluation, or treatment, AdMeTech's team and patient navigator work with men on the appropriate follow-up. I'd like to share with you a few recent examples of how prostate cancer equity program has been making a difference. This is a case of a Black man with a history of prostate cancer who is currently being treated. On May 15, his doctor informed him that his scheduled treatment could not be provided due to problems with the insurance coverage. He got upset and shared his situation with a leader of the Men of Color Health Awareness Program, MOCA, our community partner in Springfield. On late afternoon of Friday, right before the Memorial Weekend, he contacted us and appealed for help. Our primary goal was to restore his treatment as soon as possible. And we immediately reached out to Dr. Mitchell Sokolov and his team at UMass and secured their support. On May 30th, right after Memorial Day, UMass Urology provided guidance to this man how to address his insurance issues. By Friday the same week, on June 2nd, the insurance issue had been resolved, and the appointment with Dr. Sokolov was scheduled at the earliest opportunity in early July to resume his treatment. The following Monday, MOCA leader heard what happened and asked for a second opinion for his own urologic health issue and received an appointment with a leading urologic expert within a few days of his request. This is a story of a Black man in his mid-50s who was referred to us about several months ago in mid-May by Cambridge and ACP. This man was recently diagnosed with prostate cancer. He got alarmed when his urologist informed him that the best care will not be available to him due to his limited insurance. We connected him right away with the patient navigator at the Mass General Brigham. She obtained a referral from his primary care physician and secured approval from his insurance. By June 6, this man saw Dr. Adam Feldman, a leading clinical expert and one of our featured physicians. Dr. Feldman described various treatment options, but recommended surgery, which was performed in mid-August. Emma Coyert and Erin Roberts, members of the AdMeTech Foundation's team, serve as the initial contacts for the Prostate Cancer Equity Program. When you come to us, our team will work with you, Mass General Brigham, and other clinical partners to expedite medical visits and address any needs you may have. Our team may not be able to right every social wrong that cannot be resolved by federal or state government, or provide perfect solutions for every man. And yet we are committed to doing our best and making sure men are not left behind or struggling alone. If you have any questions or need assistance, please contact Emma or Erin by phone 617-523-3535 or by email coordinator@admetechfoundation.org. Thank you for your attention.
Well, Dr. Stern, thank you so much for that presentation. That was so informative. And I think it's important to know for people that are streaming live or watching this after that these resources are available for Revere and Saugus and beyond. If you're someone that is struggling with prostate cancer, a new diagnosis, or you're someone that has a family member that is, please reach out because there are resources available. For our next speaker in the program, I'm really excited that we're joined by Captain Bill Cross from Saugus Fire. Just a few weeks ago, Captain Cross invited myself and my counterpart in Saugus, Representative Long, to a briefing talking about occupational cancers for our firefighters. And when we had that discussion, something that was really glaring was the rates of prostate cancer among our firefighters. So something different this year that I want to talk about is that unique population and how it's in fact impacting that industry. So on that note, I'm going to hand it over to Captain Cross. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Well, thanks for having me. And if I have to write, we're actually working tonight. It wasn't supposed to be. I'm working, so sorry I'm late. I was at a motorcycle accident, and but now we're back in now. So yeah, cancer right now in the fire service is it's an epidemic. And prostate cancer is one of the biggest ones. I actually have two members that recently just left the job. They retired. They felt healthy. They had, you know, a clean bill of health, and one has prostate cancer, and the other one has prostate cancer and a rare leukemia, and it's tied to our work. Historically, when we got hired, it was kind of told you, hey kid, listen, you're probably going to get cancer from your job because of the places that we go to and the incidents that we're involved with.
But while we're waiting for him to rejoin us, I'm so grateful that Captain Cross is on duty right now, taking the time to talk about how important this cause is, because as we know, the urgency has been highlighted so much in the fire service. Looks like he's just getting back and joining us, and I look forward to hearing more about that story and the journey, because it really has been a journey, I believe, in the fire service, and what happened, you know, 30, 40 years ago when my grandfather was a new firefighter to what our new firefighters are dealing with today, going into these situations where they're exposed to certain chemicals, where they're exposed to them in their own uniforms. And doctor, that's something that we've been talking about in the State House, are PFAS. And I'm sure our Captain Cross is going to talk a little bit about that. The briefing that I spoke about earlier that he hosted for his members of Local 1003 was about PFAS and about how the gear that is supposed to protect our firefighters is actually causing more harm than good, because it's filled with these forever chemicals. And we know that it's being absorbed. We know that it's one of the main reasons why our firefighters are facing higher cancer rates, and it's unacceptable. And I think that, you know, when we talk about the different groups that are impacted by cancer, particularly prostate cancer, we know that our first responders are facing higher rates. I also think it's important to acknowledge that as two women hosting a prostate cancer Zoom, to acknowledge the women's role in this, and that's bugging the men that we love and care about to go get checked, to be screened early, to make sure they don't postpone those regular tests. I think we all know through COVID, people stopped getting their regular treatment. They stopped going for the yearly blood work. They stopped going for their regular physicals. They stopped doing those things that they had historically done once a year for their own health and maintenance. And when you put off a PSA test for 3 or 4 years as a man in your late 40s, early 50s, you can see a big change in a short period of time. So when your partner or your daughter or your wife or your sister or your mother nag you to go get tested, and if it's in your family history, or if you have an occupation that puts you at a higher risk, we're telling you because we love you and we want to make sure that you're getting screened early, because again, we know that prostate cancer is something that is treatable and is something that there are much more positive outcomes when you're screened early, when you seek treatment. And also being in Boston, Dr. Stern, we are so lucky that the AdMeTech Foundation partners with some of the best cancer facilities in the country. What we're doing in Boston is what people all over the United States and the world are looking at in terms of research, in terms of treatment, in terms of our equipment and technology. I'm so grateful to be here with you. Captain Cross might be joining us again. I don't know if you have anything to add on some of those points, Doctor, while we...
Absolutely. I would like to highlight a couple of points here. One is that prostate cancer is an incredible burden for families, for societies. Just like breast cancer is the most common cancer among women, prostate cancer is the most common cancer among men. Prostate cancer impacts 1 in 8 men. 1 in 8 American men. If you look at Black men, it impacts 1 in 6 men. And I really would like to highlight what Representative Giannino mentioned about the importance of prevention, screening, early detection, which saves lives. And I would like to emphasize that prostate cancer equity program that features some of the leading experts in prostate cancer care that provide the best care available anywhere in the world today. That's what prostate cancer equity program ensures. If you have any questions, if prostate cancer screening is right for you and you are reaching the age of 40, 45, please do not hesitate to contact Erin Roberts. Erin is our coordinator for prostate cancer equity program, and I believe she, at least she will put her contact information in the chat. And we want to emphasize that prostate cancer equity is here, help is here for anyone who needs help deciding whether or not screening is right for him, whether or not biopsy is right for him, or whether or not treatment is right for him. Captain Cross, back to you.
Yeah, so thank you. You know what, and I missed what you guys were talking about. I'm turning 56 this month. I'm going for my second colonoscopy ever, but I think, you know, we need to advocate that we need testing more often. It's been 5 years since my last test, and you know, my blood work has come back fine. But again, I want to highlight, I go back to those guys who just got off the job and they went through every test and got a clean bill of health, and within a year, well, one was within a year and the other one was within 3 years. Both of them came down with cancer. If I had to go back to my union today to talk to my members, what are some key words for them to use with their doctors in order to get some more rapid testing? How can we work on that so that it's not a 5-year lag between tests?
Absolutely. First of all, we'll be happy to, if this is of interest, Mr. Cross, will be happy to work with you to actually provide educational materials, or to have a joint educational event, or maybe next year members of your union would be interested to participate in this event. Secondly, it's really important to emphasize that when men reach the age of 40, they need to talk to their physicians if prostate cancer screening is right for them, and when they should have it. What are the advantages, what are disadvantages, etc. It's a simple blood test, which is very inexpensive. And as many people say, it's a test that saves countless lives. Because it is the best way, the best access we have for early detection. What is important to remember is who is at risk. As you pointed out, men who are working as firefighters are at risk. Military personnel, veterans are at risk, particularly men who served overseas and were exposed to all kinds of toxic materials that Representative Giannino discussed earlier. Black men, including Hispanic men, traditionally, for different reasons, Black men have genetic predisposition to more aggressive prostate cancer. And unfortunately, Black, Hispanic, Latino men traditionally do not have the same access as white men or Asian men, and suffer from higher incidence and poorer quality of care and higher death rates. So one of the primary focus for AdMeTech Foundation is to address health disparities. What else is important for men to understand is another risk factor, which is family history. If your father or if your brother in particular had prostate cancer, you are at higher risk of prostate cancer. And you need to start the conversation with your physician no later than at the age of 40. Okay. If you have no risk factors I just discussed, conversation with private primary care doctor should not take place later than at the age of 45. Because it is this first test at the age of 45 that would be very important to deter long-term risk 10 years and beyond of aggressive life-threatening prostate cancer. And that's how we and based on this test, we designed the entire screening program.
Right, that's great. So, you know, I will definitely be, our union would be interested in that. You know what, and firefighters a lot of times are their worst advocates too. They're kind of, we don't listen to our bodies, and we just try to ignore things. And I would really appreciate when the opportunity comes that we'll put this at the forefront, and I'll be the guinea pig. I'll step up and I'll be the example that they should go out and do this stuff, because it's early detection, from what I hear, is the best medicine. If we can find it early, we can cure it. So, but getting back to the fire service itself, again, and I'm not sure if you're up on this PFAS, but our gear is loaded with this chemical, and the prostate and prostate cancer has been kind of the biggest thing with this, because the pants we wear, those vapors are kind of just trapped in our pants, and we're seeing a lot of prostate cancers in the fire service. And it's not just older guys, it's younger guys that are getting it as well. So I think a thing like this, this is great information. I'll definitely bring it back to my body, and I appreciate being part of this.
Thank you so much. Mr. Cross, I want to point out that military medicine, because so many military personnel are exposed to toxic substances, actually military medicine and Veteran Administration instituted prostate cancer screening as a mandatory part of physical exam. And if you and your colleagues see increased level of prostate cancer among firefighters, Veteran Administration and military medicine are a great example how they reduce mortality for everyone, and how they reduced, they essentially eliminated health disparities between Black and white men, primarily by instituting mandatory prostate cancer screening.
That's great information.
And I also want to take a moment to acknowledge my counterpart from Revere, Representative Jeff Turco, for joining us on the call today. I know he is on his way to another meeting. He's also going to be going live later this evening, but Rep, thank you for taking the time to join us for this conversation. We were just talking about early detection, screening, and particularly firefighters and the occupational risks of prostate cancer in the fire service.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I was able to join last year for the whole call, and I'm sorry I'm a little bit late tonight, but I'm in the car driving now. But absolutely, and PFAS we know is a huge issue, and I've enjoyed working with you on that, Rep. Giannino, and working with the PFFM on it, because it's really critical that we address that. But then the prostate cancer issue, obviously you've highlighted this for me and for so many others, and it's very informative and very helpful. So I look forward to continue to working with everybody here on this issue. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Rep. Captain, did you have any other questions for the doctor while we're here?
No, I'm good, really. I'm sorry. I'm getting a text on the other end about my report on this motorcycle accident. So I'm sorry, but
no, you're working.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Again, it seems like every day we think we got a grip on what we're supposed to be doing, and then all of a sudden the rules change, or the goalpost gets moved a little bit farther away. So things like this, when you have things like this, I appreciate the invitation. And again, thank you for reminding me too, because I got so many pokers going and so many different fires that I forget. So no, it's great information. I look forward to working with the doctor in the future, and pushing the members of my body to stay, vigilant in testing and keeping themselves healthy and safe.
Captain, we appreciate you taking the time to advocate for them and to be here. And I'm so grateful that while you're working, you're still taking the time for this really important cause. So thank you.
Thank you.
We're so grateful for you being here tonight.
Thanks for having me.
On that note, I don't have any further questions. I think for anyone watching, there are resources available. If you have questions, please reach out and we can connect you with the people that have answers. This is such an important cause. And it's, again, when your partner and your wife and your daughter and your sister bugs you to go to the doctors, to stay up on those tests, there's a reason. It's because we care. As the person in my family that does that, because of my genetic dispositions in my family, I can tell you they get annoyed when I bug them, but it's because we love you. Early detection is key, testing is key, and we can work together to make sure that families don't have to go through this, that people don't have to go through this, and that with early detection, prostate cancer is treatable and the outcomes are better. I want to thank everyone for taking the time to be here tonight to really bring this to the forefront, because this issue is a priority for me, as for many others. And I look forward to really working with you, Captain Cross, and with Captain O'Hara and the fire service to make sure that our firefighters who keep us safe are also keeping themselves safe. And looking forward to working with you on that.
Thank you. Me as well. I look forward to it. And again, thanks for having me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, doctor.
Great to
All right.
meet you. Thank you so
All right.
much. Have a great evening.
Yeah, you
Thank
too.
you,
Take care.
everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, for anyone still streaming live, we will make sure if you ask any questions in the comments, we will get them to Dr. Stern. So grateful, doctor, for you being a champion in the State House for this issue and for bringing the attention to my colleagues and also bringing the resources that the AdMeTech Foundation offers to my district. This is such a phenomenal program and I am so thankful, and I know Rep. Turco is too, to have you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. And I would like to wish everyone a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Jess. Good night.
Good night, Rep.